Hi guys,
restart zone now.
so we're back in the Texas part 2 out 2.
On the inside, Kyle Larson on the outside. Battle of the Kyles here at Texas. William Byron
We're back on the way here at Texas A&M. Part 2 of my reaction.
And Chase Elliott also
just
running
like
that low line on the inside.
what I did at
Ryan
at the top with the Talladega Yellow 500 race reactions.
So William Byron, Chase Briscoe, two non-playoff drivers up here toward the front of the field.
That big accident has really changed the complexion of the race a little bit. You have to understand with a smaller field, some of the data is not good anymore about when you think there'll be yellows, how many cars will be in the lead lap, the risk of different pit calls. Man, the Ford, I thought he was going to go 3 wide underneath the 9 of Chase Elliott. He chose not to. You see right there, that shallow entry makes him get out of the gas in the middle of the corner. I assume he got a little tight there, drivers.
Yeah, that's right. When he turned early, that messed up his angle of attack into turn 1. So then the car got up the racetrack and got tight. He's recovered now. It's got forward momentum, but the C3 wide.
Yeah, the 12. Blaney had to get up the racetrack there. Lost a few spots.
I thought that was going to get back.
And their teammates side by side here. Larson trying to get around the 24 of Byron. Byron wants him to go ahead. Like, I really don't want to be racing you.
Well, he's up front now, so Kyle Larson ahead of William Byron. Now it's Chase Elliott's turn to figure out how to get by the 24.
Williams got a fast enough car to run with these guys and maybe even outrun them at certain points of this race, but wants to take care of those teammates in these playoffs. Very frustrating when you have such a great car. Stewart Haas teammates back there behind Chase.
Well, look at this. The 4 and the 9 side by side. How will the two race each other here on the 1.5 miles?
Something must have happened in his 18 car around turn 1 and 2. He's going to get down, try to side draft and slow the 5 car down. William will not help him down this front straightaway, though. That would have absolutely helped him clear the 5. William's going to help his teammate Larson. Now William goes up to get the good arc into the corner. Larson to the lead.
Larson has the lead over Kyle Busch.
The 4 car back there, though, is showing some great speed, guys, after not really having a whole lot in the first stage. Is driving up to the inside of this 24 car. He's going to find it difficult to make that pass, though.
But what a recovery, Dale, to your point, right? This 4 car lost spots early. Great adjustments by the team and Rodney Childers. Great information by Kevin Harvick. He looks like he has a much more competitive car.
And we talked about how he might have been on the racetrack and needed to get to pit road to be able to make the adjustments to get that car to clearance the track or even get it lower if it was too high. That splitter has to be right at the racetrack. It doesn't need to be hitting it. If it is too high, the car's not going to have good aero.
Dang, that's many cars out during that crash.
Tyler Reddick in the 8 car.
Alright guys, did you see here?
Run last week in second place.
Look at this. Take a look at the cars all here
And
now.
William Byron on the bottom of the racetrack right here. They're starting to line up on him. If he can't make this pass, look at all of them.
How was Bowman stand up near me previously? Cody Williams 17 cars home, but many cars are DNF.
But you can see right here, Tyler Reddick's
Oh my
trying to fill that
god.
gap. Trying to follow Kyle Busch around.
How about that paint scheme on the old 8 car?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I have to imagine that wasn't a mistake.
What a big crash.
Little throwback there.
Watch the 8 car push the 18. Gives him just a little bit of a shot in turn 1, trying to use some momentum. But William Byron, a lot of speed on the bottom, is able to clear Kyle. William Byron, guys, you know, the disappointment of the playoffs, but not from a performance standpoint. They brought speed. William Byron did a great job of driving in the playoffs. Things just didn't work out. And in my eyes, it wasn't Williams' fault. It was just circumstances. This is going to play dividends for William Byron, though, moving into the future. He can use this experience to help win a championship. Here he is in position.
Yep, I'm never
Get himself back
sure.
in position trying to win this race. Tyler Reddick gets into the back of him. Now Williams got to get it here, stop, and then get going again. And that really took away an opportunity to win. And then Williams pushed a little bit too hard, trying to make something happen. So put himself in position, got pushed off the racetrack, and boom, you're out of the playoffs. Great performance by Williams.
Dang.
Kelly.
Ow.
It was essentially a must-win situation, and even though they came up a little bit short, Crew Chief Rudy Fugel told me they immediately put it behind him that night, and he said, look, I think moving forward, this is a really good lesson for us. We have proved to ourselves that when we're in a situation like that with our backs up against the wall, we really can rise to the occasion. So he said, look, it's disappointing to be out of the playoffs this year, but this is something we will take future.
The last 2 laps, William Byron has been faster than the 5. Oh, a wiggle right there with the 5 car. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe he's got a little bit of rear security issue. It's hard to tell at these tracks where the draft plays a role. You know, I'm so used to lap time being just a convinced fact that someone's going to pass someone else. But I really think if you have relatively equal cars, the 24 can use the draft of the 5 to actually improve his lap time.
You can see right here, watch the 5 car going through those bumps. See how rough it is? Ends up getting loose.
Whoa.
These cars with this rule package, low horsepower, high downforce, you would think they would be easy to drive, but they're anything but. The crew chiefs have found a way to get as much downforce off them as they can, and the drivers still try to be in the throttle, and they're just so on edge. And because of the low horsepower, Junior, you have to be committed to the throttle. And a lot of times you don't know you're loose until it's too late because you're in the throttle so aggressively. The cars are really twitchy and very difficult to drive.
Yeah, I've learned that to go fast, the car is going to have to be slick and out of the track, loose. And I never thought it'd be possible, but the crew chiefs have figured out a way to make this car with all this downforce drive pretty bad. But that's what it takes to go fast, Steve.
Yeah, that's it, right? I can make it drive good, but you're not going to like how slow it goes.
Reed Penske's nose to tail here. Larson's still out in front of Texas.
Betty is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon, so now she's free to become Bear Hug Betty. Settle in, kids. You'll be there a while. Ooh, where you going?
PNC Bank believes that if a pair of goggles can help your backhand get better, then your bank should help you budget even better. Virtual wallet with low cash mode from PNC Bank. One way we're making a difference.
Raw power is an iron fist. Ram power puts it in a velvet glove. Raw power lifts with its legs. Ram power also lifts with its brains. Raw power gets it done. Ram power does what's never been done before by anyone. Discover Ram Power during Ram Power Days.
During Ram Power Days, get 0% financing for 72 months on most 2021 Ram 1500 Crew Cab models.
I definitely think mocha is an adult flavor.
Listen, the kids have their drink with candy.
Yeah.
I get my own drink.
This is our candy.
You know...
Espresso candy.
Sonic Mocha Crunch Blast. Espresso.
You say espresso?
Yes, I do.
I need to try it first.
There's this urban legend about Charles Lee Ray. He was a serial killer who died in the 80s. Before he died, he transferred his soul into a good guy doll.
Wanna play? It's kill or be killed.
He's back in Hackensack on a mission.
I'm too old for this.
Set your DVR for Chucky, Tuesdays at 10, and stream the latest episodes now.
NASCAR Cup Series playoffs from Texas, the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500. Kyle Busch was up front for 20 laps. He's now running in the third spot, Kelly.
And time for the Toyota driver update as we look at Kyle Busch. Stage one now running third. And here's what he said about his race car a few laps ago.
When I try to pull down, when I'm pulling down like that, I got a right side shutter, like both of them. Just no grip here. Car's really good. They're just faster.
So you heard that last bit. Car's good now. The guys ahead of him just plain faster. It should be worth noting his teammate, Denny Hamlin, who's dropped down to 12th, also complaining about a chatter.
Fight for fourth between Reddick and Harvick. Marty.
Talk about a playoff to
disruptor. How about Tyler Reddick sitting in fourth once again? Yes, for the second.
In fact, in his last 3 races, he has 2 finishes of 6 or better and having a terrific run here. And when you look at this round for Tyler Reddick, so good here at Texas. He might even be better at Kansas next week. So this RTR bunch, Parker, has really turned it up. Reddick, again, solidly in the top 5.
Right, and that car right behind him, the 4 of Kevin Harvick. This bunch has really turned it up. You know, this has been a struggle for them this season. These 550 horsepower tracks, really for Stuart Haas as a whole. And I had an interesting conversation with his teammate Eric Almirola, who talked about where they've lacked that raw speed. They've tried to make up for it by really trimming these cars out, trying to find the ways to get rid of the drag on the mile and a half and make it that the drivers can still drive that. And he talked about how edgy these cars are. You guys were just alluding to before the break about how on edge these cars get. He said it's absolutely getting sketchier and sketchier trying to hold on to these. But when you have the speed and it pays off and you can get some of that clean air, it can really pay dividends. You see Harvick, a great recovery, getting up to the top 5 as he tries to fend off Ryan Blaney here, using that speed to his advantage.
So trimming the car out is really this simple, Rick. Stick your hand out the window, go down the interstate. Turn it straight up and down. You feel a lot of pressure against your hand. That's a lot of downforce. But it's also a lot of drag. It's hard for your hand to go through the air. Turn your hand the other way. Make it flat to the ground. And there's not a lot of pressure on your arm, but guess what? There's not a lot of downforce either. It's very, very low drag. So these cars are going low drag. Top speed, very high. Grip in the corner, very low. That becomes a challenge for the race car driver it's his job to get it through the corner. The engine shop and the crew chief, we're going to get it down the straightaway. Buddy, you're going to have to get it through the corner.
I think the driver has the harder job there, Steve.
Well, yeah, that's why they have jets and motorhomes, and they're the stars of the sport, which I love. They should be the stars. Kevin Harvick is a star because he has the ability to do something with the race car that I can only dream of. I know how you're supposed to drive a car, but I can't get my hands and feet to do it. If they could, I would have been a race car driver. He has a natural ability. You see it in other sports. You can throw a football, you can run on track, whatever it may be. These race car drivers don't pretend that they don't have a skill set that the rest of us don't have.
Harvick right now using that skill set, staying up in the top 5. After falling back quickly at the start of the race, they've figured something out there with that team. And this is the first time that Kevin Harvick has not been a part of a round of 8 since the playoffs started.
That's right. We saw just a minute ago how he raced the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. Ryan a little bit frustrated with the 4 car, but this is an opportunity that we don't get. See Kevin Harvick in this position, a non-playoff driver, how he's going to compete when he has a fast car. We see he's going to race these guys hard.
Last week, going to the roll, they had some work to do trying to get themselves into playoffs. He and Chase Elliott had a conflict in Bristol, and Kevin Harvick's like, all right, buddy, I don't think you learned your lesson. Sent Chase Elliott around. I think Chase Elliott was trying to get him back right there, but wasn't able to do it. Chase Elliott got a lucky break. Rear bumper came off. That got him back on the lead lap. Kevin Harvick trying to get away from everybody, just got into turn 1 too hard and ended his day.
And then there was the best quote. Chase Elliott, when asked about all of this, he basically wishing you a merry off season and a happy Christmas. That was Chase Elliott's quote about Kevin Harvick. And then the Chase Elliott store said, you know what, I got an idea. I think we can sell some t-shirts, some sweatshirts. NASCAR's most popular driver, multiple years. You know, it's tongue-in-cheek, but I thought it was an interesting comment. It was a well-timed comment, and I hope it sells a whole lot of... If you're a Chase Elliott fan, buy a sweatshirt. Why not? If you're a Kevin Harvick fan, you boo the guy that's wearing the Chase Elliott sweatshirt. Totally fine.
Chase Elliott mentioned earlier today when speaking to the media, our own Dustin Long, he said, my eyes are forward. I'm focused on the championship. I'm not looking back. I'm focused forward. Right now he's focused forward on Kevin Harvick that's in front of him.
Listen, Chase Elliott has a championship to go win this year. And, you know, you can't let distractions get in the way of that. So Chase Elliott does need to move on beyond. He needs to focus on winning this championship, not on a particular driver that's not in the playoffs.
And you know, it's not lost on Kevin Harvick that having such a dominant season last year, 9 wins, no wins this year. That to me, that team, that's probably what's on their mind post this incident with Chase. They're moving on, trying to figure out how they get to victory lane before the end of the season with only a few shots left. Marty, what you got on the 12 car now?
Well, Junior Ryan Blaney seems to get better as these runs go on, stalking Kevin Harvick to move himself back into the top 5. Struggles with it on the early half of the run. You know, when I talked to Todd Gordon, his crew chief, this morning, he said NASCAR as a sport does not offer many advantages. To him, this is the most important race of the year if you're a playoff team, because it does come with an advantage. That advantage, 2 weeks to get ready for the championship. For if you're a playoff team and you win this race, you automatically advance. He said, I have no question in my mind that in 2018, when I was Joey Logano's crew chief, we won the first race of that round, and it was a tremendous advantage for us to have 2 weeks to focus on then Miami to go win a title. So, Steve, to Todd Gordon's point, do you agree with that? If you're in the playoffs, this is the most important race of the year.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can't buy time. We talk all the time about the effort and the resources of the largest race teams, but please, at home, don't believe they're endless. Most of my job as a crew chief at Hendrick Motorsports, one of the largest, was directing the effort to what car or what department or what approach for the next week. While they had a lot of resources and more than the smaller teams, they're not endless. These crew chiefs still have to decide where those resources are going to go. So if you can win here, your resources instantly going to go to Phoenix. I'll even add one more, Rick. If you win here, it somewhat helps your teammates as well, because then the organization can focus on your teammates when you go to Kansas and Martinsville and their approach.
Out front is Kyle Larson, William Byron, Hendrick Motorsports 1 and 2 here in Texas.
Check that out. Internet that's one step ahead.
My internet streams my ride.
Yeah? Well, mine's always got my back.
Okay, chill. Mine's faster than Harvick.
Okay, that's fast.
Me? My internet's so fast, it keeps up with me.
Yep, that's because you all have the same internet. Xfinity X5. So powerful, it keeps one-upping itself.
Can your internet do that?
I need to try it first.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. Lucia, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
The seasons are changing, and your tires may be ready for a change, too. Get ready for the road ahead at Midas. Right now, buy 3 Cooper tires and get 1 free. Find your tires at Midas.com.
Welcome to the Ginny 500, folks. We have a strong lineup today. Starting in row number 1 with the Wings.
A real contender coming in with a lot of heat, Bob.
Next is Sushi, who's been on a bit of a roll of late. And finally, we have Cheeseburger.
A rare choice for Jenny.
All right, let's see what Jenny is going to order. Wow, tacos with the upset.
No matter what you're craving, order from DoorDash and get it delivered right to your door.
DoorDash, get more to your door.
Someone in this room is disloyal. All my life, all I've ever been taught is to trust only family.
All the dominoes fall in a row.
Convince me it wasn't you who tipped the police.
A standout country battle.
Thank you, the voice gods, for shining on me.
As the coaches fighting for country cred.
Hanging out with Blake and Kelly.
And
one is Johnny Yeehaw legend.
The Voice, Monday and Tuesday on NBC.
So many things in the great state of Texas for fans to wrap their arms around. Right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Texas Motor Speedway has been a staple since really the turn of the century. Greetings from Texas Motor Speedway. And the season winding down for the Cup Series. Just 3 races will remain after this one here at Texas. Kansas will be on NBCSN, then Martinsville and Phoenix, the championship race. Those will be simulcast on Peacock and that QR code on the right
so
side.
that's
TV.
it
Just
for
go
my
ahead and take a shot of that. That will take
2021
you to sign up
Texas
for
Race.